Okay, welcome back to the Zodiac Trial, where it's time to figure out how to get away with murder. Where's my murder saves? Around here, I think. Okay. What is this? Oh no, that's the start of it. Just trying to recall the choices we had here, and that's covering up the blood on Mouse's leg, hiding his clothes, getting a witness, and lastly, making the noise. I feel like we kind of fail on all points. I feel like Ox saw through the whole convenient paint can thing. And we, Mouse conveniently finding the clothes. Because no one was looking for it, naturally. Having a witness could work, but it might have worked against us. That's still not 100% clear. So I think for starters, let's wash it off. It's only blood, that should come off, right? Lucky for me, there was a sink in the art room with paper towels. Went over there, put up my leg, and tried to wash the blood off the best I could. Using a lot of water and some paper towels, I got most of it off. But a water stain had taken its place. Well, that was better, at any rate. What did I have to do? Over by the closet, Rooster had finished his tasks. Okay, we did closet door, that didn't work. Behind the door. Theoretically, after committing the murder, the killer would have been in a rush to change out of the disguise. Assuming the killer was rushed, they probably wouldn't have had a great hiding spot. So just behind the door would be good enough. Sounds good to me. Here, his clothes and the mask. Rooster handed a bundle to me. And give me the kitchen knife as well. It would have discarded the weapon here, likely. Alright. He also handed over the bloody knife. I took the bundle and put it right next to the door. That should do it. Excellent. Crime scene successfully forged. Next up is victim number 2. Okay, killed sheep. We'll get a witness. And for now, we'll risk it. And we'll leave the... We're gonna do some murder science here. We're gonna risk it. We're gonna get a witness. And we're gonna make the only 2 variables we changed the first 2. Alright, trying to look helpful, I followed him. Bent over and looked down too. Okay, what's the context of this? Okay, looking at Sheep's body. For a moment, Ox noticed my leg and looked over at me. Uh-oh. What's that on your leg? Oh, this? I just spilled some water on myself. You spilled water on yourself? Yeah, there's a weird puzzle in the science lab on the 3rd floor. Could show it to you if you'd like. No need. Anyways, what do you notice about the body? Okay, so... washing it off didn't quite work. I feel like in this circumstance, he'd notice if we rolled up our pant leg, too. It appears that sheep was struck from the side. She was likely just walking by, when the assailant clonked her with that statue nearby. Think we're good? Harmlessly okay. Everyone focused on the immediate crime scene. There was no way they were going to find the last bundle of evidence they needed to solve it. Guess I'd handle it. I harmlessly wandered over by the door, then looked down. I found the bundle of evidence I had left, so I grabbed it and called out to the others. Hey guys, look what I found! What is it? Looks like we now know where Snake's clothes are. Here's his snake mask, and here's the bloody kitchen knife. Knife is definitely what killed Snake. Mouse, where'd you find all this again? Sitting behind the door. What, just lying on the floor like that? Yeah, it wasn't hidden the best. Okay then. What could this mean? Like, why is that there? Rooster saw Snake walk over to where Sheep was found, right? If he killed Sheep, then who killed him? Couldn't have been anyone in this group. It has to be someone still missing. Horse, are you suggesting that this murder took place while we were gathered around Sheep's body? Alright, let's move along. What? Body types? Well, Snake's an older man, right? Okay, this is weak. If you think about it, he'd probably be the easiest person to kill. Sheep's a fairly meek girl, so she'd likely be second easiest. Thinking about it, I think the killer is systematically murdering us. From the weakest, eventually the strongest. That's a rather large leap to make just from 2 cases. Okay, so this is the wrong choice. That makes sense, doesn't it? Perhaps. I don't know if Snake would necessarily be easier to kill than Sheep. It's arguable at the very least. I agree, Ox. I think we can't determine the order of the crimes, at least not at this time. Dirty perv. Ah yes, how you just happened to get a water stain on your pant leg. How the killer just left those clothes on the ground, barely hidden at all. A rooster saw Snake walk by, but not Pig. How you were nearby when the noise drew them to the crime scene. How you knew Snake was killed before Sheep, based on the killer's mindset. And we're dead. Okay, so that didn't work. Roll the pant leg. Surely nobody had been paying that much attention to me, right? It was totally natural for somebody to have the bottom of their pant leg rolled up a bit. This was highly risky. If someone ever noticed this and asked me to roll the leg down, I'd be totally screwed. There was no way that would happen. If it did, I probably would have already been under a fatal amount of suspicion. So I rolled up my pant leg and prayed. Rooster finished his tasks. Paint can? I know we can dunk the evidence in a paint can. I was a killer, that's where I'd hide it if I really didn't want to be found out. Also, there's a bunch of paint cans around here. Sounds good to me. Alright, moving along. Gonna get your knife as well. Alright, hand over the blade knife. Over to a paint can and submerged all the stuff so that was out of sight. That should do it. Excellent. Again, was just... I think we're dead either way, but... Okay, so... No one's finding the paint can, so... I down put my hands in the can. Fished out a bundle of who knows what covered in paint. Okay, this is really suspicious. Hey guys, look what I found! What is it? I'm not quite sure. Let me see if I can get the paint off. Wiped as much of the paint off the evidence as I could. Looks like we now know where Snake's clothes are. Yeah, here's a snake mask and a kitchen knife. The knife is probably what killed Snake. Mouse, where'd you find all this again? It's in a paint can. How did you even notice it? Well, a bit something was sticking out, so it caught my attention. Okay, then. But what could this mean? Okay, moving. Weapons? Think about the weapons used in each crime. The kitchen knife comes from the cafeteria and was used on the victim found in the art room. The statue comes from the art room and was used on the victim found in the hallway. When you look at it from that perspective, the order of events seems pretty obvious. The killer brought the knife to the art room and killed, left the knife, took the statue, killed, left the statue. The alternative would be rather odd. I mean, the killer brought the statue from the art room, killed, left the statue, got a knife, then returned to the art room and they had got the statue from, killed, left the knife. Well, you're definitely making some assumptions there. But you're right, it would make more sense if Snake was killed first. I'm the only one still weirded out by the fact that our killer is some kind of dirty perv. Okay. Oh. I agree, shut up, Rooster. We're suspicious. Not obvious. There's a number of things I could point out. The fact that neither of you two have any alibi whatsoever. He managed to find Snake's clothes in a bucket of paint. A rooster saw Snake walk by, but not Pig. You were nearby when that noise that drew them to the crime scene. To labor that point would be a waste of time. Bottom line is the whole thing seems rather showy to me. Alex, everything that you said can be easily explained, and we're dead. On the upside, it feels like this is the right answer, because we didn't get called out on this. There isn't really a right answer to this. This feels like the right answer. Okay, so now we're going to do no witnesses. Bring in anyone extra will just make things needlessly complicated. The story is good enough on its own. Any additional aspects will just increase the chances of something going horribly wrong. Okay, then guess it'll just be up to me to carry a brilliant story. Anyway, say that a bit after Snake walks by, you heard some sort of crashing noise. You walked out and then found the body. After that, you call out and gather as many people as possible. Bring in the group. On it. And you'll be far away from all this. After all, as your partner, it's important that I seem as innocent as possible. I guess that makes sense. So we're all decided? It appears we are. The dice are cast, so to speak. Interesting, so by not getting a witness, we have no need to make the noise. Let's see if we had a winning roll. Plan it into action. Rooster, for his part, would wait a bit before discovering the body. Meanwhile, I searched an area far away from where the body would be found. Soon enough, I heard commotion begin to arise. Rooster had drawn the group's attention towards the body. I joined in and stood by the newly discovered body. Everyone was panicked and very sad at the death. Horse in particular looked like he was barely holding his rage in. I have things to say about horse and sheep. Like if you look back at the comments from earlier videos, someone proposed a rewrite of Sheep's Route. And I have my thoughts on that. I have my own thoughts about rewriting Sheep's Route. I'll save that for the eventual ranking all character routes from worst to best video in this series. It was very troubling, very tragic, very evil to most people. For my part, I just tried my best to play the part of a grieving, scared girl. Rooster volunteered the story we had concocted. Ox listened in with a very focused look on his face. Are we back to, yep, reveal. And Rooster, you're the only one that can verify this story of yours. I think calling it a story is giving me a bit too much credit. Memory would be more accurate, though I admit my narration added a lot. You're the only one who can verify this. Yes, I was searching alone when it happened. Notice interrogation, Ox walked over to the body and leaned in to look closer. Trying to look helpful, I followed him, bent over and looked down too. Appears that sheep was struck from the side, okay. Unfortunately for us, there's a staircase right near the scene of the crime, which means it would have been easy for the killer to slip away without being spotted. We go along? Art room? Oh, we skipped over. Okay, so we've seen that. I feel like the weapons are the answer here. Okay, why are we suspicious? Rooster and Mouse. Oh. I agree. Rooster, shut up! Ox, what are you talking about? What do you mean we're suspicious? Is it not obvious? A number of things I could point out. The fact that neither of you two have any alibi whatsoever. The killer just left those clothes on the ground, barely hidden at all. Rooster was the only one to see Snake walk by. But to belabor the point would be a waste of time. Bottom line is, the whole thing seems rather showy to me. Ox, everything that you've said can be very easily explained. Oh, okay. Stabby, stabby. Okay, we still made mistakes. I feel like... Closet drawer? Now, if we do no witnesses, we'll see what happens. Oh! No, I believe I figured it out. You have? Yes. Thinking about it, there's only one sequence of events that makes all of this make even a lick of sense. The only thing I'd think of is that the fact that Rooster seeing Snake was not a mistake, but rather a function. Now this is interesting proposal. Do go on. Snake was indeed the first victim. Our killer murdered them with his kitchen knife. But that wasn't all. They were out for blood. In case it's not obvious, our killer's likely one of the traitors. They planned to kill everyone and escape alone. And so they came up with a plan. They could get people to think Snake was the murderer, and then vanish Snake. We'd all have a common enemy. Snake would be the boogeyman, the unknown threat hiding somewhere in the school. They could blame all future killings on him. But to do that, they'd need to see it. They'd need to see Snake by the crime. They took Snake's mask and his clothes and dressed up as him. We'll know exactly what happened next. Maybe they killed Sheep with the statue first, then just waited for a time when they could be spotted walking to the crime. Maybe they really walked with that statue by Rooster, happened to see Sheep, and clonked her there. Whatever the case, they set up Snake with that disguise. However, they'd have to join up with the group soon enough to avoid suspicion. So when they doubled back to the yard classroom, they abandoned their disguise as fast as they could, then joined the rest of us. That's crazy. There's no way something like that could really happen, right? No, I think Ox is right. It all adds up when you think about it like that. In that case, I think we could narrow our killer suspects down to 2. Mouse and Rooster. Wait, no, fuck! We can? Of the people who could plausibly imitate Snake with a mask on, there are only 3 in this building. Rooster was the one with who this performance was all for, so it's not him. That leaves Dog and Bunny. The killer has to be one of you 2. Oh. That's absurd! Ridiculous! I mean, Ox, you're really grasping at straws here, don't you think? I think the theory makes sense. You do? By the way, I should have mentioned earlier, I have an alibi for the crime. What? You do? I thought searching alone might be a bad idea, so I tagged along with Horse, much to his annoyance. Horse, can you confirm this? Indeed. It is regrettable, but Dog cannot be the killer. Well then, I guess that just leaves one person left. I knew Bunny was suspicious. I never trusted that phony smile of his. A plastic man, the type to kill in cold blood. As opposed to me and my plastic mask. Hey now, you can't be serious, right? This is absurd. You can't arrest somebody on such flimsy reasoning. This isn't a court of law, Bunny. It's a death game, where we need to make hard decisions. In my opinion, Ox has raised reasonable doubt that you're the killer. So we can't just let that go. So, what should we do? I mean, even if he is suspicious, we can't just kill him off like this, right? I know. There's some jump rope in the gym. Why don't we tie him to a chair and leave him in the cafeteria? That seems a sensible enough arrangement. Sensible enough? That's not even remotely! Bunny began to back away, but before he could put any distance, Horse grabbed a hold of his arm. You do not get to flee that easily. Oh, come on, Bunny. Why are you resisting if you got nothing to hide? Stop resisting, Bunny. Stop resisting. You're right. You're totally right. Honestly, it's in high-tension situations like that, it's natural for people to reach incorrect conclusions. I can't say you're not making a mistake, but if this group thinks this is for the best, I'd be happy to be confined. Then it's settled. I'll go get the rope. I love bondage. Before he knew it, Bunny was indeed tied up on the chair left in the cafeteria. It was a funny sight if you forgot the circumstances. He certainly didn't look amused. Bunny chair sprite? No. Only Monkey gets a chair sprite. Well then, I suppose we should just get back to it then. Yeah, we sure lost a whole bunch of time here, didn't we? The others should have still been working, right? They can pick up our slack. Let's just plan to regroup and recount our minor trinkets in 2 rounds' time, got it? Everyone nodded their heads in agreement. And like that, everybody split up and returned to searching for minor trinkets. Well, almost everybody. 2 people only walked briefly away from the cafeteria, right before turning around and heading right back to where we just were. Oh, Mouse, glad to see we're on the same wavelength. Indeed, that went about as well as could be expected. Huh? Bunny's here. Are we gonna kill Bunny? I have to give you credit, Mouse. They really took that story, hook, line, and sinker. Worked like a charm. Ah, we got lucky. Are you forgetting that Bunny's here? Things could have gone wrong in so many different ways. Hold on, you 2 are the killers? And Circle gets the square. Nice work on picking up those context clues, buddy. Rooster, don't be a dick to him. We're doing all this because we have to. If you start to enjoy it, you'll really become irredeemable. Not for this guy. Trust me, I knew his deal before he even got abducted. I'm not gonna have any sympathy for this prick. Oh? Long story, not really the time for it. Maybe we get out of here. Sympathy? Hold on, you two aren't really considering killing me, are you? Them's the breaks, Bunny. I really am sorry about this, but, you know, you're all tied up there. It's about as good an opportunity as we're going to get. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Guys, let's just think about this for a minute. Whichever one of you has the clever personality, you could win with 2 other people, right? I'm useful. I'm a cop. I know how to deal with situations like this. You just reconsider your current position, and I'll join your side, honest. You're gonna need someone with my skills if you're gonna want to take down someone like Horse, someone like Tiger. Or just ditch the dumb one and help me out. Well, Rooster, he makes a compelling argument. Maybe I should make him my new partner. Hey, are you serious here? Don't be stupid. He'll just hand you over to the group as soon as he gets free. Mouse, don't tell me you're falling for this. Easy there, I was just messing with you. Oh, right, I knew that. What do you mean you were just messing with him? Mouse, you can trust me, I swear. I don't think I want to work with someone willing to sacrifice the entire group, if I'm being honest. You're willing to sacrifice the entire group? Yeah, and I wouldn't want to work with me either. Alright, enough chitter-chatter. People could walk in at any moment. Mouse, after you. What do you mean after me? You're the one killing him, right? Why would I be the one killing him? I already did snake and sheep, that's 2 for me and 0 for you. But you said we were 1 and 1! You start pulling your weight around here. That makes no sense! Yeah, it doesn't. Since you're already used to killing, you should keep doing it. Even if I'm complicit in all of this, I want to go as long as I can without physically murdering anybody. Oh, come on, that's a bunch of nonsense. Take his tablet. It is nonsense! Shut up, you. Rooster turned and kicked Bunny in the shin. Anyway, Bunny's already bound up right for you. This is a free kill. It's the middle space on a bingo card. This is the perfect opportunity to get accustomed to it in case you need to do it yourself later. Okay, how about rock, paper, scissors? Rock, paper, scissors? Fine, but I'll have you know I'm a rock, paper, scissors master. 3, 2, 1. Well... Yes, I'm gonna make you decide. What of it? Well, I didn't expect this poll to be so, tight. Even if this decision is meaningless, this was a really fun poll just to follow. Rock, paper, scissors. Or technically rock, scissors, paper, and the order was given. But I put it in the proper order on the poll. And... yeah. Scissors. To say, I swear to God, every time I checked on this poll, through the day, into now, it was tied. For the longest time, it was tied between rock and scissors. But, as I'm calling it now, scissors wins. Alas, scissors. God damn it. Ha. Scissors never loses. Yeah, whatever. Probably cheated or something. But fine, I'll do it. All these choices were probably meaningless, but... Rooster approaches Bunny. Rooster, please, you don't want to do this, I can get you it. Bunny's pleas were interrupted when Rooster wrapped his hands around Bunny's throat. Turned away. This wasn't going to be a pleasant sight. There was the sounds of struggling and an awful choking noise. And after a disturbingly long time, I didn't hear anything. You done yet? Yes, I'm done, you baby. You can look now. Turned over, and sure enough, Bunny had gone limp in the chair. That's 1.5 kills on my soul. Well, that was unpleasant. Should probably get out of here now. It would be bad to be seen with the body. Hold on, Mouse. We're not just going to leave things like this. Oh? For some reason, Rooster walked over to the kitchen. He returned with another knife. What, are you going to desecrate the body? Seriously? Are you kidding me? I'm not some monster. Instead of Bunny's body, Rooster began cutting up the jump rope tied around him. Oh, what are you doing? Helping Bunny escape. Escape? Look, if Bunny just sits here dead, then he's another victim. If he gets out of these ropes and escapes, he's still a suspect. Oh, I get you. That's oddly smart, Rooster. Oddly. I'm filled with great ideas. For instance, you know how when you want to watch a TV show you always... Okay, let's pitch in more murder cover-up, okay? Yes, ma'am. Rooster finished cutting off the ropes and freed Bunny's corpse from the chair. It took a bit of work, but he ended up dragging it into the nearby restroom. After that was dealt with, Rooster and I put some distance between us and the cafeteria. We went to a hallway on the second floor, a hallway with 3 classrooms in a row. We entered the one furthest down the hall. It looked like just a normal classroom. Textbooks, desks, chairs, the like. Funnily enough, there were a number of Hot Wheels and a little bucket on the teacher's desk, but that was about as weird as it got. There were also a number of dioramas sitting on the windowsills. Most looked like normal school projects. However, one of them jumped out to me. Huh. What's this? Z, a body? Hey, this picture kind of looks like Tiger. You're correct. The project was done on Tiger. Comparing it with the other projects, I immediately realized this wasn't like the others. This was a clue. But not in the traditional sense. Diorama talked about the Olympian, but not about her athletic abilities. Talked about the case of her dead mother, who fell over a body's balcony. The court case reached the verdict, justified self-defense. However, there were other pictures and documents attached to the board. Picture taken on a phone of some knife. Picture of Tiger shaking hands with somebody in a suit. A history of bank transactions. At the bottom, in big bold text, Brian had written out his point. Conclusion? Z a body equals murderous client. The murderous part I could understand. Context clues and whatnot. What was throwing me off was the word client. Rooster, what do you make of all this? Seems a little dark for a school project, don't you think? Why do I bother with you? Still, Tiger seems real scary looking at this. I don't know, like she seems now. Indeed, I guess most people here are hiding something like this. And you aren't? No. Me being here is a total mistake. A mistake? Long story. Anyway, what about you? Do you know why you're here? What? No. Rooster, we're partners now. I've seen you do worse, you can tell me. Well, if I'm being honest, I have an inkling of an idea. I'm pretty sure Brian's pissed at my parents, not me. Your parents? I don't really want to get into it. Why wouldn't he just kidnap them? That's not really an option anymore. Oh. Yeah, well, that was a perfectly timed beat in the song. Yeah, well, I'm not saying I'm a saint or anything, but speaking totally honest, I don't think I did anything that would get Brian to bring me here. If anything, I'd think I'd be more on his side than anything else. You know, it's ironic. We really were the 2 most innocent people here, and we were the ones who ended up having to kill the others. It would be. You know, there's something to be said for having a death game. Bringing in the people who deserve to be died, who you feel deserve to die, and people who would likely be willing to kill the other people for what they've done. I wonder if it was intentional. Kill the others? Uh-oh. At some point, Pig had walked into the classroom. Must have overheard some of our conversation. Oh, that. Mouse and I were talking about an online game. An online game? Uh-oh. A smooth bluff, Rooster, but we're in Pig's wheelhouse now, so you better bluff well. Yeah, we just realized that we knew each other through the game. We were talking about our guild mates. How did he... Oh, mid-sentence, Rooster rushed over to Pig and wrapped his hands around her throat. He tried shouting out, and I couldn't have that, so I ran up with Rooster and covered her mouth with my hands. Ugh, it felt horrible. Rooster strangling her while I covered her mouth. Couldn't look right at the sight. Turned my head and just pushed down. Eventually, the struggle died down. Rooster and I stepped back, and Pig lay on the floor, motionless. We were both breathing heavily. God, what shit timing, right? Didn't have time to shoot the shit with Rooster. This was an unplanned panic kill. The type people got caught doing. Instantly, I peeked out of the classroom to see if there was anybody around. I didn't see anyone, but I heard Dog's voice. He was having a one-sided conversation with somebody, and he was getting closer. Uh-oh. I leaned back in and quickly filled Rooster in. Dog coming. He's coming soon. He has company. We're screwed. I'll try to distract them. Got it. Another word, I left the room and walked a couple steps forward. When Dog turned the corner, I was standing outside the classroom furthest from the one I was just in. And thank God, because he was walking with Horse! Seriously? What shit luck? One of the few people we couldn't deal with. If it was just Dog, well, we could have shut him up by ourselves. But Horse? He caught us now, we'd be screwed. Quickly, I needed to stall. Hey Dog, Horse, funny seeing you. What are you two doing over here? Good to run into you, Mouse. How to work trinket. How to work trinket hunting, right? That's the idea at any rate, though I haven't had much luck yet. I feel that. Anyway, Horse and I were searching together. Actually, Pig was also searching with us, but she went up ahead, down this hallway. Did you happen to run into her? You have to be shitting me. No, I haven't seen her around this way. Oh? That's odd. This hallway kind of seems like a dead end. There's only 3 classrooms. I don't know what to say. I've yet to see her. Dog's eyes squinted, and he looked at me, up and down. Uh-oh. He was suspecting me, wasn't he? Shit. Couldn't do anything suspicious at this juncture. If those two walk into the room with Pig's body, there was no way to weasel out of that. Horse would kill me, no question. If I could get away, Horse would report to the group, and then I'd be really screwed. I think I'll look around for her, if you don't mind. I did mind. After you? I gestured to the classroom I stood beside. Anything to keep him out of the deadly classroom for a second more. Following my suggestion, Dog walked into the classroom and Horse followed shortly after. I didn't know what to do other than stay there. Just staying there in silence felt dirty. So I talked and talked. Not about anything useful, just about what I thought about the game, suspicions, Brian, where trinkets could be found. Anything. Honestly, it probably made me seem more suspicious than less, but its main function was to relieve my own stress. Dog and Horse didn't really engage in the conversation at all. Horse stayed by the door while Dog searched all over the classroom. He looked in places that wouldn't make sense if Pig was alive, which meant he was on to me. After searching the classroom wordlessly, Dog walked out into the next classroom. Horse and I followed. Again, he looked around. Nothing to find. After he had searched, he left and walked to the last classroom, the one Pig and Rooster were in. Didn't really want to follow him, but Horse was right behind me. He was watching me. He was on guard for me. It'd be more suspicious not to do so, so I gulped and walked into the room. There, I didn't see anything. Rooster must have hid. The Dog would sniff them out. Looked around the room in all sorts of hiding spots like he had already done. And yet he didn't find anything. Huh? I had to hide my surprise. Dog didn't. At that point he had become openly suspicious of me, and yet seemingly my innocence was proven. So yeah, like I said a couple times, I don't think Pig is here. Doubt. Double doubt. Well, I must have read the room wrong. Sorry to waste your time like this. Pig must have made a wrong turn or something. Yeah, probably. Well, I guess we'll get back to looking around. Look after yourself, okay? Will do. Alright, Horse, we're done here. Okay. And just like that, the two left. I watched as they walked down the hallway, not looking back. What had happened? I was confused, to say the least. The only answer I could think of lay in the first classroom, so I walked over to it. And sure enough, I saw Rooster standing there, a grin on his face. Ta-da! Rooster, what did you do? I simply followed through on your plan. My plan? Yeah. You led them into the classrooms in that order, and you kept talking like that. Listening in at first, I was confused. Then I realized what you were signaling me to do. First I took 4 of these Hot Wheel cars and put them under 4 textbooks. Then I put Pig's body onto the textbooks. Like that I could roll her around easily. When the 3 of you entered the second classroom, I made my move. Since they were afraid you might be a killer, Dog wanted Horse to stay with them at all times. Since they thought you were acting alone, they never thought about covering the hallway. They used the opportunity while they were in the second classroom to move Pig quickly from the third classroom to the first. Since you were talking so much, the sound of the Hot Wheels moving along the floor was covered up. Brilliant thinking, Mouse. Clown-to-clown communication. Oh, thanks. Good on you for picking up on my plan. Hey, I might not be the smartest person around, but I can pick things up when you're putting them down. Anyways, what were we saying before this whole distraction? Tiger, right, yeah, she's an issue. Be best to get rid of the big threats like her and Horse as soon as we can. The only question is how. Indeed. What? Suddenly pensive music began to play. What's that? Oh, I just thought if we were having a brainstorm session, I would set the scene. So I took out my MP3 player and turned on some jams. Why do you have an MP3 player with you? I don't know. I had it on me when I got kidnapped. Had it on me when I woke up. It doesn't really have any function other than playing music. Who has an MP3 player in this day and age? Mouse, are you figuring out how to figure? Are you here to figure out how to murder an Olympian, or are you here to be a judgy Jason? Because you can't be here for both. That's a new one. Okay, sorry. Didn't know it was a touchy subject. For the record, I find that music more distracting than anything else. It's his ritual music. Well, I like it. Okay, then. At any rate, a head-on assault against Tiger isn't going to work. She'll kick both of our asses. However, she's pretty trusting. Maybe if I bring her to a classroom and you ambush her. I like it. I'm loving it. Ambush her with what? Use electric. Boogie woogie woogie woogie. Hey, you see that laptop charger that's plugged into the wall? Yeah, what about it? Well, if you cut off the end of it with that kitchen knife you grabbed earlier, you should be able to get a section exposed with what? Get a section with exposed wire. Plug that into an outlet, it'll be a weapon that can knock even Tiger out in a single shot. Huh. Real unorthodox idea there. I like it. Let's give it a shot. Alright, go back to the third classroom and hide right by the door. I'll find Tiger and lure her over. Be prepared to jump out with wire. On it, boss. Like that, we had our plan. My job, as usual, was to be the lurer, and Rooster would be the killer. Didn't take long to find Tiger. She was searching in the auditorium on this floor. Convincing her to follow me was easy enough. She wasn't suspicious of me at all. Told her I needed her help with something in a classroom, and she just followed. I brought her to the door. After you. Without a second thought, she walked in first. Walked right into Rooster's trap. The moment she entered, Rooster ran at her, reaching out with the wire. However, a wire isn't exactly a wieldy weapon, and Tiger had killer instincts. She dodged to the right of the wire and threw a punch directly at Rooster. He wasn't able to dodge and instead went flying across the room. Oh shit! Tiger immediately turned back around to me and grabbed me by the throat. Guess she immediately put together that I was in on it with Rooster. When she grabbed me, I expected to be choked out. But no, with just a single hand, she crushed inwards and broke my throat. Then she let me go, sending me to the ground, choking and coughing out blood everywhere. As I felt myself drift into the next world, I only had one thought. Good for her. 2 of hearts. On her quest to defeat the group, Mouse will inevitably be put into conflict with those she can't simply kill with strength alone. If she's smart enough, she'll be able to defeat them through other methods. If she isn't, her journey will end there. Well, that's simple enough. Hot diggity. So not electric, boogie woogie woogie. Knife. You still have that kitchen knife, the one you used to free Bunny, right? Yep. Okay, well, I could just lure her into the classroom. You could be waiting there, and when she walks in, you stab her. It's not complicated, but I mean, it should work, right? Stabbing tends to be pretty effective, I agree. Got the knife, so we should be good to go. Alright. Third classroom hide by the door. I'll find Tiger and lure her over. On it, boss. Like that, we had our plan. My job, as usual, was to be the lurer, and Rooster would be the killer. Didn't take long to find Tiger, so Enough, wasn't suspicious. Part of the door. After you. Walked in first. Right into Rooster's trap. Ran at her, slashing with a knife. You got her good, right in the chest. Oh shit. However, that's right when everything started to go wrong. Right as she was stabbed, Tiger threw a punch directly at Rooster. He wasn't able to dodge and instead went flying across the room. And crushed. Moved out? No. Crushed and broke my throat. Got blood everywhere. Good for her. Okay. Just hide. All I need you to do is hide. What? Just trust me. Based on the rate this game's been going, I'm pretty sure this'll work. You just need to be out of sight, and this'll work. I don't see what you're doing here. I'm intrigued. What? Okay, I don't know why I was real jumpy there for a second. Alright, go back to the third classroom and find a great hiding place. I'll find Tiger and lure her over. Oh, what a boss. Okay, how is this going to go? What is our plan? Follow out of the door. Alright, the issue is in here. Well, actually, the round's getting close to being over, isn't it? Hey, you're right. Before we start on that, we should input our moves on the tablets. Here, you can use this room. Oh, and I'll use the one right beside it. Cool. Just like that, the trap was set. Oh, that's clever. I was wondering when someone would do this. Tiger walked into the room without a single alarm being raised in her head. Waited. As expected, a little bit later, I heard screams of agony. Jade Emperor made it very clear. Using your tablet when someone else was in the same room was against the rules. Penalty? Instant execution. We couldn't kill Tiger, but Brian could. Walked in and saw the results of my trap. Saw Tiger lying face down, blood dripping from her neck. I'm sorry, Tiger. Rooster had gotten out of his hiding spot and looked down at the carnage with a blank look on his face. Dang, Mouse. Cold-blooded. How's that cold-blooded? We didn't even do anything this time. You're right. Still, you're really good at this murder thing. Like, scarily so. I didn't give him any more of a response than that. Hey, what's this? Rooster noticed something on the body. Leaned down and fished out a pistol from Tiger's pocket. Sweet, a pistol. Huh, I wonder what Tiger was doing with something like this. Did she have this on her the whole time? I guess so. I mean, there haven't really been any weapons lying around the school, at least not that I've seen. In that case, does this mean she had this on her before she was taken? Did she? I don't recall this ever coming up. Perhaps. At any rate, this could be useful. I know Dog had a knife on him, and Dog ends up with a pistol as well. In most cases. Who should hold on to it? Who should have the gun? Clearly Rooster. You can hold on to it. Really? Yeah, like I said, I don't want to do any killing. Sweet. Happy to have the gun. Rooster pocketed it. And so what now? I think we should split up and look for minor trinkets for a bit. Act normal. Divert suspicion. After all, we've already killed 5 people. That's like halfway there. You're right, we should pace ourselves. Alrighty, then we'll check out the 3rd floor, and you can move down to the 1st floor. Got it. Oh, and like I told Tiger, the round really is almost up, so make sure to input your move. On it. Just like that, my one ally split up from me. I was on my own. Well, I couldn't dwell on that too much. It's not like there was any reason that I'd be in danger. I wasn't a suspect of anything. There were no traitors coming after me. In the classroom with only Tiger's dead body, I took out my tablet and pressed the run button. I left the room and walked down the stairs. Eventually, I made my way back up to the cafeteria where I found Ox. I was inspecting the results of the round on the screen. He didn't look pleased. It's all going to shit. It is? I tend to look concerned and check the screen. Oh, that's not great. At least nobody's gone off on their own. I suppose. Well, concerning, it looks like Bunny's escaped. Indeed, that does appear to be the case. wonder if his partner freed him. We should have taken precautions against that scenario. Do you think we're doomed? I would certainly hope not. Though I can't exactly face the situation with any sense of optimism. It's all that damn Brian's fault. Seriously, how can you think any of this is okay? He's a child. A damaged, unwell child, but a child when it comes down to it. No, I'm inclined to blame Aaron Morris. Aaron Morris? He's the one possessing Brian to do all this in his stead. What? Oh. Only the man had the sense to simply admit his guilt in front of the court. Then none of this would be happening. Why wouldn't he? We had him. It was over. He should have just confessed. I disagree. Oh? First off, he was never presented with any sort of plea bargains. There was no incentive for him to plead guilty. If there was and he did, that wouldn't prove anything either. Oh? It's not even a confession enough to determine a man's guilt. Don't bullshit me, Ox. You're a prosecutor. You're the one person who should know how it all works. It's the reason 99% of convictions end in a plea bargain. It's the reason not that 99% of convictions are correct. Okay, you're definitely being obstinate now. It's called playing devil's advocate, Mouse. Better get used to it, because it's something lawyers are awfully fond of. Whatever you say. Anyways, not that you don't already know this, but the real reason the plea bargains are so common is because it's simply risk-benefit analysis. On the prosecutor's side, if the case isn't airtight, then the question becomes, how harsh a bargain are we likely to get the defense to agree to? From the defense's side, unless the case is a complete slam dunk, it's usually safer to take a reasonable deal, rather than face a guilty verdict in court. After all, a good 10% of juries are so wonky that predicting what they'll do is a complete crapshoot. Rolling the dice like that when you face decades in jail isn't an option most can afford. There's a pressure on defense attorneys to push for plea deals as well. After all, the court has too many cases already. They want to deal with them as efficiently as possible. Fight for an actual trial and you're seen as an obstructionist in the eyes of the judge and the prosecution. That sort of stigma can hurt, since you're generally working with the same group of people for years. And you know all about this through your time spent in the courts. I know this because my father was one such obstructionist. Ah, I see. So you became a defense attorney to follow in his footsteps. No, I mean, not really. I became a defense attorney because I learned from him how messed up our system is, and I want to do my part to help it. Messed up? Are plea deals really all that bad? They afford a risk-free solution to suspects that generally come with relatively few expenses. Maybe it looks that way from the outside, but for the factual defendants, taking a plea deal is no small matter. For one, let's not downplay how horrible spending days, possibly weeks in the actual prisons themselves can be. It doesn't sound so bad because people can stay in jail for years, but at the very least those jails are built for long-term residents. Holding cell conditions are horrifying. I've seen it myself. Also, the court fees, even for a simple plea deal, are pretty ridiculous. For someone with a lower income, they deal significant damage. And there's the big thing about having a crime on your personal record. That thing can really stick, especially when it comes to seeking employment. And since you plead guilty, most people will assume you really are guilty. Plea deals suck. People only take them because the other option, going to trial, has humongous risks if it goes poorly. I suppose you're right. It's sort of the way it is. I remembered Ox's file. The allegations of corruption. So as a prosecutor, have you ever felt bad about some of the cases you've taken? Are you kidding? Of course I do. Then why take them on? Well, the whole point of our justice system is built around both the prosecution and the defense coming at a case with all they have. The truth will be what ends up in the middle, right? That's a non-answer and you know it. Look, the fact of the matter is, even if I do have reservations about any given case, if I don't press charges, don't press the harshest charges possible, I'll be kicked out and someone will take my place. It's a competitive field and it's filled with people who skew towards having a strong inclination towards justice, and I mean the retributive type. And that includes you, right? More of an inclination than you have, I guess. Mouse, all I do is my job, nothing more, nothing less. Everything is above board. You do? I'd be very easy to replace. After all, I'm a trial prosecutor. My main job is taking all the information I'm given and organizing it in the most persuasive way to present to the jury. If you're really so incensed about fair and just punishments, I'd point you towards my boss. She even handles the sentencing recommendation, which isn't even strictly her purview. Really? That's just okay. I've registered a formal complaint about it, if that'll do anything. Anyways, we've gotten massively off track. We need to figure out what our next move is. Do we even have a next move? It feels like we've already fallen into complete chaos. As far as I see it, I'm already a dead girl walking. An oddly pessimistic take from you, Mouse. It's far too early to give up. There must be something to be done. Like what? I'm not sure, although... Ox began to pace. Something about Snake and Sheep's murder. Something about it still rubs me the wrong way. Oh? Thought we agreed Bunny was behind that. And he escaped, which should confirm it. Assuming he escaped. Huh? He's missing. That can mean culprit, or victim. I guess you're right. Still, what's the alternative? If not Bunny, then who? You heard Rooster's testimony. What? Was he making that up? Is Rooster secretly the real traitor? No, I don't think that's right. I'm just confused. Maybe looking around Snake's crime scene again would help. Well then, lead the way. Okay, what are we going to find here? I didn't feel great about Ox's current thought process, but I decided to humor him. It's not like you could find anything in the art room. There was no evidence that led back to me. Just needed to distract him while Rooster did the rest of the dirty work for me. Entering the room, a wave hit the pit of my stomach. I could see the murder happening once more. The look in Snake's eye. No, focus. It didn't happen. Know nothing about the murder here. I'm innocent. Ox's eyes scanned the scene. So what are you looking for? I'm not sure. Something we missed. I think it's gonna be hard. I could have there be a ton of evidence if we had, like, forensic science equipment with us and stuff. I thought we could get a lot of information out of every nook and cranny. Edgeworth it up. It's where we are now. I don't think it's likely the killer would leave anything obvious enough for us to notice. Perhaps. Ox walked over to Snake's clothes, still lying in a heap on the nearby table. I never gave these a close inspection. Perhaps there's a clue in here. By all means, check it out. Ox began going through the clothes. As I already noted, the blood in the hole in these clothes suggests he was wearing this at the time of the crime, that he was stabbed in the gut from the front. Probably someone he knew, not that narrows things down. On location, we could probably eliminate horse, tiger, and pig as suspects, but again, not a huge help. Wonder if there's anything in the pockets. The pockets? Never thought to check that. There shouldn't be anything incriminating in there. I was curious as to what Ox might find. Let's see what we have here. This looks like a key. What's this doing here? Think it's part of the game? No, I don't think so. It's on a little loop. It's got a label on it. That doesn't match with the style of anything else. Master. Master key for something. What? I don't know. Probably just for his house, right? Yeah, probably. Master key. At any rate, I don't think this is the breakthrough evidence you were looking for. Agreed. Your voice is backwards. Agreed. He put the keys down, then fished something else out of his pocket. It was 2 colored markers. A red one and a gray one. Now what's this? Huh? What is that? What is that doing there? I'm not sure. Since these are art supplies. Ox looked around the room before spotting a set of matching markers. That's it over there. He grabbed them from there. That set is sitting on the table, right by where we found the wiped up bloodstains. Reflecting that after he got stabbed, he slumped against the table. With the last of his strength, he grabbed a hold of those markers. Oh. That's possible. Judging by everything we know, I think. Oh boy. red, and I don't know how gray ties back to us, but he grabbed the markers before being stabbed. Really? Maybe he was going to draw something before he was attacked. Maybe he was distracted and the killer tapped his shoulder and stabbed him then. What makes you think that? Well, the alternative view that you propose is that he grabbed the markers after he was stabbed. If I was stabbed, I don't think my first instinct would be to grab some random markers. What would the point of that be? You're right. Snake must have had some purpose in grabbing them. Oop! I was about to say Deception 100, but Deception roll failed. I think they might be Snake's dying message. Huh? Snake was the clever type. Knowing he didn't have long to live, he made use of what he had around to try to help the group. Okay, that's also possible. In that case, what's the message say? Indeed, what could it mean? Can't imagine the message would be all that complex. After all, he was dying as he grabbed them. If we meant to get across with this action, it must be something very simplistic. Could it be? Well, I guess we'll continue our deception roll. RG. Markers are red and gray, right? Oftentimes in a murder mystery, the victim will leave the killer's name or initials in their blood. It's sort of like that. Snake's message is RG. Maybe GR, I can't quite tell. So those initials are the killer's name. Right. Seeing as we don't know anyone's names, it'd be difficult to decode that message. But we can ask around. No, Mouse, you're not thinking. Snake also shouldn't have known anyone's name. So how could he give someone's initials? Oh, huh. Maybe he knew the killer personally. We all are connected after all. I think there's a simpler answer. I think he'd be looking for our colors. He's an artist after all. Colors red and gray hold significance. That's the message. I'm thinking about what those colors could mean. There's one conclusion I can draw. The color of the pawns on the race board. Ah. Rooster, the witness who saw Snake, had a red pawn. And your pawn is gray. That's right. So then... why wouldn't the killer remove the markers from the pocket? Like, this is our legitimate question. Why wouldn't the killer remove the markers from the pocket? Maybe they didn't realize it was a code or something. It's just a principle. If you saw somebody you had just killed stuffing something in their pocket, you'd probably get rid of it, right? Well, Mouse, that's assuming they saw Snake stuff the markers in his pocket after all. At all. What do you mean? After murdering somebody, anyone with a conscience is liable to try and avoid looking directly at their work. Might not be logical, but only complete sociopaths are entirely logical when committing a murder. Putting some markers in a pocket is an action that could be completed fairly quickly and subtly. I think it's entirely plausible that Snake got the markers in his pocket discreetly. Ox turned around to look at where the bloodstains were wiped away. Thinking about it some more, it makes sense that there would be two killers in a scene like this. Someone to lure him in, someone else to do the deal. Bunny and Dog couldn't have done it, and if Snake didn't do it, we have to assume Rooster was making his whole story up. If that's the case, he could have been working with somebody else. Thinking about everyone's movements so far, the other traitor, the other killer, would have to be you. Suddenly, Ox stopped speaking. Instead, his attention focused on the sudden jolt of pain in his back. He had left a lot back at the initial scene of the crime, including the kitchen knife that did Snake in. I grabbed it off the table and stabbed Ox right in the back. Feeling of metal moving through flesh, of killing intent entering his body. Felt just like cutting any other type of meat. After a few pained seconds, Ox collapsed to the ground. Blood was pouring down from Ox. It was clear that I had already landed the fatal blow. He had but minutes to live. No, even that was generous. Immediately I felt like collapsing to the ground. My head felt like a bowling ball. The room felt like it was spinning. I bent slightly any which way, my head would plump to the ground, and the rest of me would follow. Finally, I had murdered someone myself. Until now, I had certainly been an accessory to the crime, but this was different. Ox, the person who had gotten me through the start of this, was now dying. It was because of me, and I couldn't undo it. Not now. Not ever. No, 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 no. He was a bad person, a corrupt tool. He was nothing. I deserved this. I was a good person. He wasn't. This wasn't a sin. This was fine. Ox locked eyes with me, gaunt look on his face. He knew everything. I hope this works out for you. I really do. So I suspect it won't, and you can't take it back. Maybe I do deserve something like this. But, man, Brian really is a devil. He didn't just kill us. No, those of us who died got off easy. What he did to you, Mouse, is a fate worse than death. He took your soul, and you're not going to get it back. Well, if you waste if all 12 of us are ruined by this game, so try your best to forget all this. Think of it as a bad dream. Then Brian won't have completely won. Yet at the end I couldn't say a single word. Just watched the light slowly faded out of Ox's eyes. I needed to do at least that much. I killed him. I needed to see him to his death. Once he died, I felt nothing. It was just another one down. And just then I heard a noise by the door. Hey, Mouse, did you... Oh. So, looks like you finally dealt with one of them by yourself. Okay, you need some time to yourself. I get it. Respecting your boundaries. No, I'm fine. What's the update? Well, good news, bad news. Bad news? Well, not bad news for us, just sort of bad news in general. Everyone else is dead. But what? You killed all of them? Actually, Horse did most of the work. Huh? I don't know what his deal was. He just started wandering the halls killing people, all the while wearing some sort of skull mask. He looked like a complete psycho. His arms were literally caked in blood. Christ. Yeah, I think we might have broken him. Whoops. Anyway, I was nearly a goner myself, but luckily I had an ace up my sleeve. Rooster proudly displayed the pistol. Good thing I decided to hold on to it, huh? Yeah, no kidding. So, it's over. That's right. It's all over. Oh, we chose correctly. I couldn't describe the emotions that overtook me. I expected relief, maybe regret. Instead, I just felt a hollowness. Oh, so this is how it went, huh? I could hardly muster the motivation to celebrate. Rooster seemed to be doing that fine by himself. But I couldn't shut down. I'd heed Ock's words and live my life to the fullest. Afterwards, we gathered up everyone's tablets and used them to great effect. Finally, we made our last inputs. I would come in first. Rooster would come in last. We would be free. And with that, we successfully pulled it off. Nothing else to worry about. Nothing else to worry about? Rooster, you realize the mountains of forensic evidence we've left behind, right? They'll know what we did. There's no way that won't have repercussions. That's... Shit, okay. Once we leave, we find a bunch of gasoline and we burn this entire school down. What? Think about it. Nobody knows what's happening here, or else the building would be surrounded. The whole place goes up in smoke. Even a thorough investigation is going to struggle to prove we did anything. The murders maybe, but they can show we burned the building down. Right, well that's fine. You just say that after everything, Brian threatened us with the collars. He ordered us to burn the school down or we'd be executed. Our collars will be undone once we leave. Says who? When they catch Brian, surely he'll speak up. Who are the police going to believe, the perpetrator or the victims? Trust me, Mouse, everything's going to work out just fine. We won. I didn't know if I could agree with Rooster, just that everything was going to work out just fine. He was right about one thing. We had won. Because of that, I knew I had to live the rest of my life to the fullest for those who had lost. No matter what it takes. That's it? With spades. If she puts her mind to it, Mouse can win as a traitor. However, that's a path that leads to complete destruction. Anyone who leaves a bloodbath will be stained in blood that can't be washed away. I'm looking for a total slaughterhouse like this. The less victims, the better. There should be a better way. Well, that is going to be it for the mouse route. I admit, I was hoping for a bit more, some sort of plot dump at the end, relating to Mouse. So that's gonna go in the down column for this round, unfortunately. I was hoping for some kind of either karmic slap in the face, or something to show why Mouse was here. I guess I feel like that ended earlier than I would have liked. Like, if there was any route that would show us something that happened once we had left, would have been that one, I think. So, I suppose we'll do one thing yet. We have all the endings of this route, but I'll keep the gun. Give me the gun. Hey, why do you get it? Because you can defend yourself. I can't. Ah, true, true. Ego stroked. Rooster gave up the gun without a second thought. And so what now? Think we should split up and look for minor... Skip ahead? Ox being ox. Things went really went south. I had some insurance by my hip. Dying. I think as he was dying, Snake wanted to help the group. He didn't have any options, but on the table he had collapsed onto, there was a marker set. Thinking quickly, he discreetly grabbed 2 markers and shoved them in his pocket. Those markers weren't randomly chosen, they're some sort of coded message. In other words, those markers are Snake's dying message. I'm inclined to agree with you, Mouse. As cliché as it might seem, that's the most likely possibility. Because Snake is an artist. Naturally, he'd be on the lookout for colors. If anything's the message, it's the colors. Specifically red and gray. Something about those 2 colors holds an important hint. Yes, that would be the reasonable assumption to make. They could mean? I'm thinking about what those colors could mean. There's one conclusion I can draw. If I were a killer, why would you... Ox, I know what you're about to say. You're going to accuse me of being one of the traitors. I am. But Ox, if that were the case, a very important question is suddenly raised. And that is? Just the 2 of us in this room. If I was the killer, why would I have left you alive for this long? Ox's mouth opened, but then closed. He had noticed it. His eyes were glaring right at my right hand, in which I had gripped the kitchen knife that murdered Snake. We had also left this on a nearby table. Second, nobody moved a muscle. Then I went for the slash. Ox tried to block, but we were too close, and I was too determined. In a straight-up fight, I have no doubt he would win. All it took was one good plunge of the knife into his stomach to end things. It's interesting that that played out different. It felt just like cutting another type of meat. I guess that's the version of the encounter where we just confront his thought process directly like that. After being stabbed in the stomach like that, Ox stumbled back and eventually collapsed to the ground. Skip ahead? Just then I heard a noise by the door. Ah, there you are. There he is. Horse, what the hell is on your face? Huh? I don't have anything on my face. Horse looked at the body. So you were the other little murderer. Figures. Always looked like a conniving bitch. Well, this is the end of the line for you. Hold on. Tried to stall? Want your partner to come and save you? Too bad. They're already dead. What? How could you know that? How? How? Because I killed them all. Every one of them. But what? And now for a full sweep. Horse began to stomp towards me, pure bloodlust in his eyes. He saw me as a threat. I already would have been dead. Fortunately for him, there was one thing he had zero chance of expecting. A pistol I had. Never fired a gun before, but pure self-preservation in mind, I pulled out the weapon and fired it twice, right at Horse's chest. It actually worked, and he stopped in his tracks, surprised. Then, step by step, he continued moving towards me. I never felt as terrified before as I had in that one moment. I fired shot after shot after shot into him. He was like one of those zombies in the movies. He just wouldn't die. Eventually, finally, I had dealt enough damage to him. He dropped at the floor. And that was it? If he was to be believed, I was the last one alive. The sole survivor. It was over. We didn't die. I thought we'd go back to the ending 2 where we got Haunted. Couldn't describe the emotions that overtook me. I expected relief, maybe regret. Instead I just felt a hollowness. Oh, this is how it went, huh? Hardly mustered the motivation to celebrate. But couldn't shut down. I'd heed Alex's words and live my life to the fullest. So I snapped out of it and began searching the school. Sure enough, I found corpse after corpse. Even Rooster. One comrade. Murdered. Well, what's one more victim? I collected everyone's tablets and operated them to move my pawn to the end of the board. Just like that, I had crossed the finish line. The finish line has been crossed. Ooh, the winner is Mouse. Congratulations. Anyone who has not won has lost. Prepare for execution. And like that, I felt the collar release off my neck. I heard it fall to the floor. And that was that. I was free. That's simple. I had won. Look at me. Would have guessed out of everyone here, I would be the one still alive. Well, serves them right. They shouldn't have been such shitty people that they'd get dragged into a death game. They shouldn't have been so stupid as to let some girl like me murder them all. Brian hadn't selected me randomly. Brian had given me this role for a purpose. I was here to enact his justice on these sinners. I had done just that. I get it now, Brian. You're right. This game needed to happen. At first glance, it looked like you rigged this whole thing against me. But you wanted me to win, right? This is the outcome you wanted. I delivered this to you. So, you're welcome. Come on, thank me. Thank me, your avatar of justice. Thank me for my service, for my performance. Tell me what's next for us. He shouted out, but no one responded. Brian wouldn't say a word. He just left me with the silence. This maddening silence. This deafening, ear-blistering silence. I couldn't stand it anymore, so just to create noise, I began to laugh. I began to laugh, laugh, and laugh, and laugh. Why not? The situation was funny. It was a funny situation. My laughter echoed through the empty halls. I laughed, and 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 I laughed. Eventually I stopped. Threw spades. I was convinced a traitor. Oh, that's a path that leads to complete destruction. Ta-da. Less victims better? There should be a better way. I like that version of it. I like that version of it a lot better. I like that version of the ending a lot better. My god. Holy shit. Because that just feels like the logical conclusion to Mouse's descent into murderhood. And if anything, even if Brian did actually bring her in here as a last-minute replacement, Brian just completely no-selling Mouse's descent into madness at the end. That kind of suffices as the sort of karmic smackdown that I was looking for at the end. In the end of it all. I'll take it. It's not the one I was expecting. It's probably not as effective as the one I was expecting, but I'll take it. I like that. I like that version of the ending a lot better. Oh, that was good. So, this leaves one route to go, where we have to figure out the loophole in Brian's game. Until next time, until then.